This is week 2 of our mobility and flexibility class. So, if you're here and you're looking to stretch and not burn too many calories, you're in the right place. This is where we just stretch, relax. Probably one of our easier, more lenient classes here at Irvine Valley. But at the same time, just because it's easy doesn't mean it's not beneficial. I think this is probably one of my top 2 classes when it comes to treating yourself and making sure that things don't take a turn for the worse. If you're feeling tight or sore, any of that soreness or anything that kind of brings your mood down, or you just don't like how your body's feeling, hopefully this class relaxes you a little bit. So today we will be working on our chair, then standing, and then possibly about the last 10 minutes we'll try to work on the floor. Okay, so we'll do some floor stretches. The nice part about the floor is that we are able to stretch our back and our hips a little bit more using the floor. So if that's what we're looking forward to doing today, then just stick around for those floor exercises. But other than that, if you're watching this recording, I have about 37 minutes of memory in my camera, so you may not catch everything, but yeah, hopefully we see you live next time. But other than that, let's go ahead and begin. We'll get started. We'll start with some facial stretches, and then we'll transition down to working our way down our body and standing, and then on the floor. Okay, so again, any requests that you folks have, feel free to throw them in on the chat. We have a few requests already. So let's go ahead, open our jaw as wide as we can, tilt your head up, and close your jaw by pulling your chin towards your nose. So you're gonna feel a big stretch going through your neck. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're here, and pull. Repeat. Couple more. One more. Very good. I'm gonna switch up the shoulders and some facial exercises, the routine a little bit, just so our shoulders don't get too fatigued. So let's go with some snow angels. If you've been with me and we've done some shoulder stretches back to back, those shoulders could get really tired. Sometimes just as tired as a shoulder workout. So I usually like breaking them up a little bit. So thanks again. I know we had some folks from this class enroll in the other classes, which keeps them active and keeps them away from getting canceled. So appreciate you. Yeah, let's just get the big stretches. So reach as far as you can. So it's not just the movement, but also try to reach with your fingertips as far away from your body as possible too. So we're stretching the muscles, the actual muscle fibers, and not just doing a stretch around the joint. So right now we're really just moving the humerus here and the arms around the shoulder. Let's bring that right arm across and pull. And again, if you haven't participated in the survey that's on the front page, if you please can, this gives me a little bit more feedback on our class and any limitations that we may have, or any requests that we'd like to add on to our class. Let's switch. All right, very good. We're gonna do some continue with our facial exercises. So just gentle palpations from our earlobes, just with the pointing finger and your middle finger of each hand. We're gonna glide those fingers from our earlobes down our jawline to our chin. Just gentle movement. We don't want to do any bruising. It's very gentle. Get a little bit of blood flow. to that area. Alright, now let's go ahead and go from the side of our eyes straight down. Got a loud cricket giving us a concert right now behind me somewhere. Very good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do our neck stretches with our head tilts. Okay, so just turn left and then right. We're just turning left to right. With every breath, try to rotate a little bit more. So try to be a little bit more intentful than just looking left and right. Once we reach that spot where we can't turn any longer, try to give it a little bit more of a go so you can continue stretching. Now up and down. This thing is ridiculously loud. This cricket. So again, up and down. Whew. Alright, very good. Relax that neck. We're gonna puff up our cheeks with air and move that air bubble left to right. So let's go ahead and do that. So puff them up and then move left to right. Now up and down, upper lip and lower lip. And relax, so you can get a little sore and tender in that area. Okay, let's go ahead and do neck circle. So gently just rotate your head around your torso. We might break it up a little bit and go from some sitting to standing stretches just so we could switch it up a bit. I'll let you know when we do that. Whew. Excuse me. Switch. This feels good right now. Very good. We're going to sit on our left hand. We're going to sit on that left hand, bring your right hand over and stretch. So again, just allow the weight of your arm to stretch that left side. Go ahead and switch. So let's sit on that right hand. Bring that left hand over. And allow that right side of your neck to stretch. It's supposed to be a really warm day today, so I'm glad I have no 2 p.m. classes today. I had 2 fans going for me yesterday. But I think tomorrow I may go indoors and go from my living room with the air conditioner on. So very good. All right, so we're gonna just break up our standing or sitting stretches right now. So we're gonna go ahead and stand. So I'll give you a few options. So if you have your chair nearby, You could use a chair. So the only thing is I don't want your chair to be able to slide. So if you could put it fixed against a wall, you could even use a wall for this one. Okay, my chair is pretty rigid here, so what I'm gonna do is face the chair. I'm gonna use my hands to support myself, and I'm gonna swing my right leg left to right. So I'm gonna just go here and lift it. Okay, I don't want anything aggressive. I just want to swing my leg, which is pretty much that joint of your femur with your hip joint, just going back and forth. As you're swinging, you may notice how limited or how much range of motion you're capable of swinging that leg. So if you're comfortable, just get a little bit more of a swing. You go a little bit higher. Sometimes I get a little bit more of a swing if I put my supportive foot, if I go up to my toes and get the heel elevated. I feel like I get a little bit more swing. Okay, we're gonna switch. Now I'm gonna go with the left leg. So swinging that left leg. If you see me since Thursday, you probably heard me vent many times already about my leg, but I had a little accident Wednesday afternoon, so I'm a little bit limited on that right leg. Feels a lot better than last week, but in case you see me limping around a little bit, that's why. So we're swinging again across our body here. Very good. All right, now I'm gonna be on the side of the chair. Okay, so now if you want to look at the camera, now I'm gonna swing back and forth. Okay, so now I'm going here. Again, just working on all the directions for this joint. So yesterday I got a little bit of a treatment on my calf. Our athletic trainers for my team, they have this really fancy machine that sends these wavelengths. I don't know what color or the actual wavelengths, but they get deep into the muscle. And the idea behind it, it's that it's gonna stimulate the mitochondria in our cells to speed up the healing process. So, a lot of things is state like this may have these results, or this may help you, or this and that. So let's switch. So with this one, what's neat about it is that there's lots of scientific studies and results and benefits, like actual real stuff that does benefit. So but the may help part comes when it may reduce pain, which luckily I don't have much pain. I'm just trying to speed up recovery, so it's about a 5-minute appointment. That's all the time that's needed. So, but I'm gonna go back, I think today and the next 2 days, to just kind of help with that. So hopefully that speeds up recovery a little bit more. Very good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and then just work on a little bit of standing stretches here. So just wide stance and just left to right, just trunk rotation. Let's do ab circles. So hinge at your hip, bend, and then come across and pump back. That feels good. We're here. Pump. Oh, very good. Just keep it going. Two more on each side. So again, just keep that back straight, hinging at the hip. One more on each side. Very good. All right, we're gonna do big hula hoops. So again, similar stance, maybe a little bit more narrow. And we're gonna just exaggerate some giant hip circles. Okay, so these are slow movements, but they are huge movements. Okay, so just go as wide as you can. Big hip movements here. Switch. So let's go in reverse. So I'm just exaggerate that pattern. Awesome. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and then do that similar big movement circle, but now with our knees. So the way we do that is our feet are together, slight bend at the knees, and then just try to do circles with your knees. Okay, so you have a slight bend. Obviously the range of motion here is not very much, but it is gonna give a little bit of activity to the strong tendons that we have around our knee joint as well. And not just that, but also our hip and our ankles. Okay, switch. So go counterclockwise. And there we go. All right, we could go back to the chair. Have a little bit of water if you're thirsty. Should be hydrating. Got to remind my team to hydrate. We have a race on Friday, so it's not about just hydrating an hour before the race. It's hydrating throughout the entire week. Okay. Oof. All right. So moving on, I know we had a request for the shoulders, so we're gonna continue with some shoulder stretches here. So we're gonna go with shoulder circles. So we're gonna drop our hands directly straight down from our shoulders. Shoulders come up, forward, down, back, and just repeat that movement. Okay, so down, back, up, forward. Big circles here. All right, now in reverse. Up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward. All right, very good. All right, next one is we're gonna work on our upper back, possibly our mid back. So using our scapula, we're gonna have our elbows at our side and try to almost meet your elbows behind you. So reach, obviously we're not gonna make contact, but then we're gonna come back, reach, squeezing that back, and then relaxing, repeat, squeeze, relax. Just keep that going. We'll do about 5 more of these. Last one. Very good. All right. Whew. We're gonna do our cat scratching pose. So if you're in my classes yesterday, this is one that we did. So we're gonna go ahead and sit towards the front of the chair. Separate your feet. We're gonna reach up towards the ceiling. Keep your back straight and reach, reach, reach. come back. Okay. Again, reach. Come back. Continue. Go. Repeat. Three more. Reach, keep your back straight. Woo. Two more. Oof. And last one. Awesome. Very good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our trunk. So grab the base of the chair, bottom seat, and then the backrest, and rotate your torso slightly to the right, or whatever amount you can. We don't want any discomfort, so just turn to the right. Alright, let's go left. So grab that base of the chair and the backrest and rotate left. Your knees should be facing forward. Very good. Let's go ahead and sit towards the front of the chair. Let's go with the left ankle on that right knee. Okay. Working on that piriformis stretch. Hopefully avoiding any sciatic nerve issues. So some of you have perfect attendance so far, so keep it going. We're 2 for 2. Remember, this is, I think we're done in mid-December, so gentle push down on that left knee. Let's bring that left knee up, hug it out. I think I just got bitten by a mosquito right now. Yeah, those mosquitoes. I remember when mosquitoes were just a summer thing, and then now they're just year-round. They don't go away. Alright, let's switch. Right ankle on that left knee. Alright, gentle push down on that right knee. Let's bring that right knee up. Let's hug it out. And let's relax. Okay. All right, very good. We're gonna start, let's go ahead and start transitioning to our standing stretches. So we'll still need the chair, so keep the chair handy because I do want it for some mobility work. So you may not see it, well actually, yeah, I could go from here. So let me just move my weights. So I'm gonna have the chair here. I have my counter over here. So you could either use the sitting portion of the chair or the backrest, but we're gonna do some hip mobility, okay? So I'm facing the camera, the chair is facing away, and what we're gonna do is just keep the leg straight. So this is my right leg going over the backrest of the chair, and then in reverse as well, okay? If that seems a little bit too much or too high for you, like I mentioned, you could just rotate your chair and use the seat part of the chair and then just go in reverse, okay? So again, whatever you're comfortable with, but try to do this while being supported by something. I don't want you just to be upright doing it, because then now we're adding a balance component, which could be a little dangerous for this movement. So that's why I want you to use a counter and then go in reverse. And last one before we switch sides. So now I'm gonna rotate and do my left leg, okay? Don't be surprised if one leg feels a little bit more rusty or less mobile than another, okay? So it happens sometimes. Oof, that feels a little bit tighter for me. So for this one, I have to almost lean my torso a little bit more to get some mobility. Very good. All right. So again, just like earlier, let's go ahead and push that chair onto a wall or a counter where it's not gonna slide. So only do this one if you feel safe and if that chair isn't too high. But what I want you to do is just place your left ankle here, okay? And what we're gonna do is just kind of reach down and then up. Okay, so you could use your hands as a guide, but you should feel this on your lower back and on your hip, maybe even that extended legs hamstring, okay? So the hamstring is the muscle group behind your thigh, okay? And one more. Okay, next what I want you to do is rotate your torso to your extended leg. And then you might want to rotate your foot as well. So now we're rotating the torso. And we're going to lean and then go up. If you want to get more of a back stretch, you could do this arm here and then just kind of bring it. Make sure it's comfortable. You don't want any pain on that heel. All right, we're gonna switch sides. So I'm just gonna rotate the chair. Again, you don't wanna, you could just flip or put it somewhere along where it's gonna be secure. So I'm gonna just here, extend it, and then down and up. After this series, we'll take a quick little 90-second rest. If you need to use a bathroom or drink some water. So again, hinge at the hip, guide with your hands. You're gonna rotate now, face the leg, and then I like bringing that back arm over. Not only get a hamstring stretch, but I feel like my rib cage gets a little bit of a stretch. Very good. Alright, so let's take 90 seconds. If you need to use the restroom or get some water, we'll regroup in 90 seconds. Alrighty. How's everyone feeling so far? Not too bad. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and stretch our chest. Okay, so this one, it's like, how are we gonna stretch our chest? So I'm just gonna gently just rotate, so don't mind my clutter right now. So for this one, I do, what works usually, it's the edge of a door frame. So what I want you to do is just stand parallel to it, extend your arm, okay? Place your hand there. So this is gonna stretch out your shoulder and a little bit of your chest, okay? So you're here, extend it, and now you're gonna turn to your left, okay? So I'm facing forward, but now I'm gonna turn to my left while my arm is there. So it's just a gentle stretch. You might feel that from just right above your elbow, going into your shoulder, maybe a little bit on your chest. All right, then we're gonna flip it. So again, find that wall or that door frame, you're extended, facing the other direction, and then you're gonna rotate your torso to the right. Okay, very good. All right, this next one is very similar, but the only difference is instead of being extended and having that contact going on your fingertips, now I want you to do this upright forearm lift, and now I want you to have that door frame on the inside of your forearm. So your entire forearm should be making contact with the inside of the frame. So you're a little bit closer to the door frame or whatever wall you're using, and now you're rotating. So you're gonna feel that a little bit closer to your shoulder. You're not gonna rotate as much because there's a little bit, there's less room for that torso to go. But you should feel that a little bit closer to your chest and your shoulder joint. I apologize for the angle of the camera, but hopefully you're able to see what we're doing here. So, very good. So just back up. Now we're gonna do that left arm. So again, you're here placing it and rotating your torso to the right. Definitely feel it closer to my chest and my shoulder. And very good. All right, I know we had shoulder requested, so we'll do our shoulder stretches, and then from there we'll transition to the floor. So my folks that are, you know, don't, the floor isn't your favorite spot. This may be your last one, but hopefully, you know, we start working on that. So let's go ahead and just swing. Grab an item. It could be a broomstick. I have my foam roller here. Last week at Mammoth, I was using the snow plow, but let's go left to right. Right here. So the snow, was that a snow plow? Snow push something? I don't know. I'm not enough to snow to know that equipment. So left to right. Let's focus on that left shoulder. So push with your right hand, guide with your left. So we'll do 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 30 degrees forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 60 degrees forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straight ahead, right in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straight towards the back. So now that right arm is in front of you, your left arm is behind you. It's being pushed behind you. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, now we're going with the right arm. Okay, so guide with your right, push with your left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If your shoulder's a little tender, you just be careful. 30 degrees forward now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 60 degrees forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 90 degrees forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now straight towards the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Arms behind the back. Okay? Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, we're gonna lift now, okay? Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we have one more, okay? So arms straight, and we're gonna just rotate in front of us. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, just in case you're watching the video recording, don't be surprised if it turns off in the next few seconds or next minute or two, okay? All right, so for my folks that this is the first time with me on Tuesdays, last week we weren't on the floor. Let's get our yoga mat. So if you have your yoga mat or a beach towel, we're gonna be on the floor for the next 8 minutes or so, okay? So grab your yoga mat, get comfortable on your floor, make sure there's no obstructions. One more piece. Missing one yoga mat piece. There it is. Alright, give me 1 second. Quick 30 seconds. All right. Sorry about that. We'll be on the floor. Okay, we're gonna do a couple movements here on the floor. So what we're gonna do is go belly down, okay? So we're gonna get down into our bellies. We're here, comfortable. And what I want you to do is just rest on your elbows, okay? Just resting on our elbows here. Just face forward. Try not to turn your head to the sides too much. Alright, now let's place your hands where your elbows are and let's push up, okay? So place your hands to your side and push up. Make sure there's no pain. Hopefully it's comfortable, but if there's pain, you could drop back down to your elbows, or just don't do as an aggressive push. So again, we want to face forward. Alright, from here, what I want you to do is in one movement, bring your glutes towards your heels, okay? So from here, glutes towards your heels, keep your hands where they are, and head down. If you can, reach with your fingertips in front of you, but keep your glutes on your heels. Very good. Alright, you could get comfortable on the yoga mat. So if you ever hear me say get in quadruped position, that means your head's down, your both wrists are right below your shoulders, and your knees are right below your hips. Okay? So we're here, and we're gonna do our cat-cow. So when you inhale, you wanna arch your back up. When you exhale, you kinda suppress and collapse that bridge. Okay? So inhale, up. That's the cat. Exhale, down. That's the cow. So let's do about 4 more of those. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Awesome. Okay, from here what I want you to do is just shuffle your hands to the right side. So your hands should now be off your yoga mat or off your beach towel. So you're here, you're still looking down, you're gonna arch your back up. Keeping that arch, bring your glutes back to your heels. Okay, you should feel the stretch on your left side, on your ribs, maybe on your left back. Where you're looking down and you're arched. Okay. And reset. Very good. Now we're going to shuffle our hands to the left side of the yoga mat or your towel. We're here, still in that quadruped position. Arch up and bring your glutes back. Reset. And very good. Alright, to finish off, we're going to go ahead and do book openers, okay? So book openers, this is a stretch for your back. Actually go on this side. We're going to do 5 on each one. So let me just tilt the camera, just realizing that it's not showing me completely. The little camera is still recording, which I'm surprised, but that's good. Alright, so if you're at home watching the recording, you might get most of the class. So here we're on our side. What I want you to do is tuck in your knees a little bit, okay? So your feet should be stacked on top of each other, knees are stacked, and then your hands are stacked. So you're resting on your side, and you're gonna follow with your eyes, okay? You could turn your head slightly, but follow that top hand. we don't want to move our torso. It's just our hand is going as far back behind us as we can. And reset slowly. Okay, so you want to spend about maybe 4 seconds taking your hand behind you. And then another 4 seconds bringing it back. So just follow with your eyes. One more, last one on this side. And if you're really mobile, you might be able to make contact with the floor behind you. Okay. And our last one is just going to be the other side, so just rotate. Remember, the first cues are to stack your feet, stack your knees, hip over hip, stack your hands, and again, follow your hand as far back as you can. Make sure those knees are making contact with the floor. You don't want to rotate those knees or your feet. Almost there. Let's do one more. Oof. It's the stretch I needed today. Perfect. So that's definitely, if you ever, what I would recommend, if you ever wake up with a very sore back, you're still in bed and you're like, why is my back sore? Before you even get out of bed, try to do that movement on your bed. Just make sure, you know, if you have someone laying next to you, you just gotta be careful that you don't whack them across the face. But other than that, how are we doing today? Mindy, how are we feeling? Feeling good?